GDP expected. Just put a couple of buttons. 30. Look at this investors and that is what we're just in the foul comes out with. It shouldn't be anything major. I don't think. I think we get the same story coming. Matters what markets happen. Dollar is a little bit stronger today. Dollar are gonna be behind the 150. 6.5. Are you coming from Singapore? Report at. Sitting at 98%, so the chances are we're not getting that Fed hike. Just choppy action. Cost happens. Question would be, would we see that? Would we see Jerome give us a definitive answer? He's gonna continue to reiterate the idea that they are not talking about rate unless we see employment. It's pretty easy to kind of understand how it get data, make a decision based on jobs outcomes, inflation rate. That's it. I don't understand why people panic when telling you. Yeah, I agree. So this could definitely drive markets down a little bit. In addition to the fact that CPI came in a little bit like one read doesn't tell you a trend, but pretty clear. Should continue. Give a recap of yesterday. We saw the CPI of food and like of those like food and services. I think it was they were looking at. You know, I think it was the decline in rents, shelter. It's scary to see that, and the fact that the consumer decreasing sharply. Like the consumer is still fine, but this declines that are happening, the increase defaults is not good, not a good catalyst for sure. So people could definitely. My P&L on AMD today is nice. Oil's still so low, it just doesn't want. I think we're buying level. So scared. Hopefully we get a bounce. It's been so difficult to trade. Bitcoin is rallying back up today. Well, sort of in a range. Everything is within a range until we get some sort of assurances. See that assurance. Holy, definitely not look. At least for the thing is, there are two stories that are happening. Have on one side, what do you believe? Um, I can provide you with both stories. So if you're looking for an answer, it's tricky to say. I'll tell you this. Depends on when you bought and when you make the best trade for it, and depends on your portfolio. So it's hard to say. I mean, like long. So let me guide you through my thought process. So we have Bitcoin winning a couple of lawsuits that pretty much allows the Bitcoin ETF to be a discussion. Now, Bitcoin ETF still has a lot of hurdles, but it could be ideal. It could happen. Or they could just let the deadline pass and then we're going to have to wait, I think it's another 3 or 6 months in order to get it, right? So, if that happens, we're definitely going to see Bitcoin decline from January 5th. I think it's January 1st to January 5th is when we're starting to get like the potential let's look here. Yeah, so from January 5th to January 10th is when we're hoping to get a decision for Bitcoin. So let's say that, okay? We get the decision for Bitcoin. A lot of people are buying just because of those news. So we're definitely going to see some selling pressure coming out, right? We are seeing some selling pressure right now, just before, but I think it's just, a correction in markets, right? If we come here and look at it, if we go to Bitcoin and have a look at it, right? research, no heading strategies. We're not gonna go into GB. Bam. All right, so let's look at the chart, right? So if you look at the chart, like that's the story that we're following. Now, there are macro things that are affecting the Bitcoin story. Well, that's the thing, right? So okay, let's say, look, like taking money off the table is never a bad thing, right? Money at risk and money off risk, no matter the payoff, it's money guaranteed in your pocket, right? So question is how much are you willing to risk for it, right? But if you look at the sort of like, let's look at the dailies. If you look at the daily, like this just doesn't show everything. I can go into trading view in a bit and show you. If you look at the graphs right now, we have seen some sort of euphoria, and I think that this was about the area when we won the lawsuit, and then we've just seen a slow upward uptrend, like a slowly upward uptrend for Bitcoin at least, and then we're also like all of a sudden we see this rally, right? This is just a correction, right? It's a correction. We're sort of meeting in the middle. We haven't come all the way down, right? So 40K is an important level of resistance psychologically, right? So it's like if it starts coming lower than 40, you gotta be a little bit scary. Now the question is what's your buying and what's your buying price also? And by the way, do whatever you want with it. You know, it's like I'm just giving you information and my thought process with it. My current position on Bitcoin, I do hold long-term Bitcoin that I currently bought, and I'm slowly selling as we're reaching some peaks. I didn't sell up here because I did feel that we needed like a euphoria rally, and we are getting that euphoria rally, right? Like the closer we get to those states, I think that the more consolidation we are getting towards the 42K prices, which are probably going to stay there. Now, all it takes is one whale coming in, selling a bunch of Bitcoin, and putting the price down to 37, 38, right? Because we do see sort of like a downward trend, right? So there you go. I mean, if you're at 28, fuck, it's like okay, you're here, right? So you're sitting at 28, right? So let's say you're sitting at 28 right now. You're making what? Here, you're right now sitting at 50% return, right? So you're sitting at 50% returns. You got to decide, right? Whether it's like, are you happy with it? Do you want more money? Are you getting greedy? Are you getting FOMO? Do you feel like you should buy more? Do you feel like you should buy less? It's like now, like I don't know your investing situation, and that's where potentially it becomes a tricky place because it's like, for example, for me, it's like if Bitcoin goes to zero, okay, I lose like a portion of my portfolio, but it ain't gonna bankrupt me, right? So it's like I'm not super scared whether the price goes to zero. And whether the price goes to 100K, it's like yeah, I make a little bit of money. So the big question here for you is that look, when I do sure, like take the initial capital out and just leave whatever is remaining. Then that's a risk-free trade. Take out all the money that you've invested, you leave the rest, and whatever happens, happens. You wait for a better entry if it comes, and if it doesn't come, you can always rebuy. That is the beauty about markets. You can always come back in. So, like I do that in my options trading, right? So it's like I'll buy two contracts, right? And if whenever I'm in profit, I'll sell the price of one of the contracts, and the other contract is free, right? So if it's like if it's a lot of risk that you're currently taking, sell part of the position. But then again, you're gonna feel shitty if it goes up, but you shouldn't because you cut the money out. Also, there's tax implications that come with a portfolio. There's all these different sort of structures that you gotta give some thought about too, right? But again, right, like selling, like it's like you could have sold up here, but the question was why didn't you sell at 45K? What's your target price, right? What do you think Bitcoin is it's valued at? You think Bitcoin is valued at $100,000 a coin, $200,000 a coin? It's a very tricky asset to value. So I do think it does hold value. The question is what everybody's value is. And if you look at the longer trends, for example, if you go, right. So if we go even lower, like guys, go trading view, proper chart, right? If you go 65, so your target is 65. Okay. So the question is like, are you willing to go? Like the thing is I'm not. Can it reach that point? Yes, it can. Right. Like the question is, will it reach it in the time frame? Because there's two things that you have to get right. You have to get that right, your target price, and you have to get right your time frame, right? Because you're looking for it's an investment opportunity, and usually they have a time horizon and a risk reward ratio, right? So in this case, it's like like the way that I like. Let me ask you this: would you buy Bitcoin at current prices? That's a very easy question. Would you buy Bitcoin at current prices? And if that's a yes, you hold the position, you know? Because every single day that you hold a position open, you're willing to buy the whole position you're willing to buy today at that price. The question is, are you okay buying the position that you currently have it at for today? Or are you willing to maybe de-risk a little bit and then potentially buy it in the lower? I did de-risk a little bit, you know? Then yeah, then my thing would be okay, then hold it, right? If everything is telling you to do that, then hold it, you know? But you also have to take into consideration that you might be wrong, you know? In this business, the beauty about this business is that you have leverage with money and you get paid when you're right, you get paid when you're wrong. Doesn't matter how you came up to that decision, it's the decision that you make in the moment. So if in this case you're saying, hey, I think that Bitcoin will go higher, but it won't go lower in the meantime, where I could potentially buy more, based on all the analysis and research that I've done, then I'm going to make the best decision that I can today. And in this case, it sounds like you want to say hold it, right? Now, am I going to get it right? No. It maybe, it's like I'll make money and I'll let people know whether I get it right or wrong. But that's if I get it right. So those are my two thoughts. Those are my two thoughts on it. It's like, look, like I started investing, I think my entry price on Bitcoin was, and then I sold at the highs. Like I sold at a couple of the highs, and it's like, and then the prices went lower and they've been higher than. It's like right now the question is like, look, I do think we get upward momentum, but I do believe that the ETF is going to be buy the rumor, sell the news. So we're going to get all of a sudden a real surge around those dates. Maybe not. Well, that's the thing. The thing is like okay. So when you look at your overall portfolio, right? Is it like, okay, you're in profit. Great. You're making some money. The question is like, can you want to make more? Less? Can you wait? Are you okay stepping out? Like my question would be, what would feel better? Okay? You sell today and you capitalize your profits and then the price goes down. Okay? Imagine that feeling. And then you keep on today, you don't sell. First scenario. Okay? You sell today, price goes down. How would you feel? You would feel like a fucking genius, right? But what happens if you think, I sell today and the price continues to rally and it reaches your target, 65K? You would feel like shit. That's the thing. Which one feels fucking worse? You know what I mean? And then you make a decision based on that, right? Like obviously, like there are market things that can help you make a decision. You know, for example, like I did think like 40, like I sold part of my position at 42.5, right? And then like 42.5, and then sort of like moved, so the position went up to 45, and I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have sold, whatever. And then price went down to 40, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm a genius. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I fucking got it right. So, it's like, that's not it. Why do they charge so small? What am I getting wrong? CME, Beacon Futures, I don't want. They're all so weird. Actually, yeah, there we go. All right. So if we go to Coinbase and we go to let's go to the hourly, right? So it's like, look, like we could potentially see a lot of uptrend. We could. It's a fact. It's a true reality. We could see Bitcoin hitting 45, but to hit 45, you're gonna have to. So it's like the reason people have like resistance and support levels is because like usually what happens is that people buy and sell at those levels. So it's like there was somebody that bought here. The reason the price reached here is because at some point somebody sold here. It's like somebody buys, somebody sells. And it reached, it's just like there are people here that all of a sudden it's like they saw this bounce and they were like, fuck, like I just lost this amount. Now I'm just gonna probably like, okay, it's gone up a little bit, sell it or whatever. And then bunch of massive selling. The thing is right now a lot of people here are accumulating. It's like people like Bitcoin hasn't been in the news. There's not many people looking at it. It's like how much experience do you have? Like I look at Bitcoin price every day. How much have you been looking at per Bitcoin? If you bought at 28K in the recent rally, you bought what around here, right? So okay, October. You've been looking at Bitcoin for the last 2 months, but potentially you've been looking at it longer, right? So it's like in this case, it's like it is sitting at very interesting levels just because of like right here. I would say that there is like a pretty strong, it's like 40, 45, 40, 40 here, like 44, 45 is sitting at a very strong like resistance level. Why? Because a lot of people bought here thinking, oh, we're just gonna get another rally, and then we saw a dump all the way down to 16. And then from here, we see, okay, is this the time to potentially, whoa, by the way, it's 8 minutes for data data news. So I'm just going to like step away from Bitcoin. I can come back to it right after, but I have to wait for those numbers. It's like, but the thing is like there are other catalysts. So for example, we got CPI data yesterday. We're going to get the FOMC and the Fed speaking today. Those are going to impact the market. Then good, right? Like then that means that right now you're looking at your risk position and you're like, look, like I'm willing to lose how much? So sitting at current prices right now, you're willing to go to 39.7. So 39.7. Ah, 39.7. Let's just add. You're willing to kind of bet $1,000, like a 10%, like 10% of your sizing. Which is not bad based on the fact that you have gains. You could also put that lower and then say, you know what? Like I'm gonna put it a little bit higher and then sell right now. Then you guarantee some profit, right? Because if you have let's say you have a 10,000 position, that's $1,000. How can you distribute risk for $1,000 as well? That's another question that you can ask. But yeah, it's tricky, bro. It's tricky. It's tricky to say. Right now, we do see momentum. Bitcoin does have strong momentum coming behind it. The ETFs are definitely, but don't you think that this has to do with like institutional buying, potentially buying just before the news comes out? Like they all know, they all make money. Like they have people looking into this stuff. So it's like they definitely are buying positions in the hopes that they're going to be able to sell it to the retail markets into proper ETFs. But there is already products that offer those services. You have GBTC, you have the ETH, like the Grayscale, you have miners, you have other ways to kind of get crypto in your like tax free portfolios or whatever. You know. So how much are people willing to go into Bitcoin for? Like it'll be great. Okay, I'll tell you one project, but like this is like it's like I like altcoins, fucking penny stocks. Some of them. Depends. I mean, I like Golem. That's the one I want. I like. I think it has a lot of potential for AI production, AI like server selling and all that stuff. Like they sell the networking power of the network with the coin. And depending on how much coin you have, you can buy that power. So instead of creating a ledger, you're really just like letting people borrow that power. So XRP is interesting because if we get a rally, XRP did not get the rally last time, right? So if you add XRP here, XRP to USDT, let's just that chart. I have to 5 minutes. Forget how to do this. Scale. All right. Oh, nope. There we go. So we didn't. So it's like the rally that we got. It's like here. Is this like if we see like XRP didn't go nuts, right? Like we saw XRP perform, but then all of a sudden it was like I think it was like around what's the P? What's the lawsuit got? That's like the important thing. So XRP has a lot of potential to go up because of it didn't get it before. There's a lot of names behind the project, but again, like altcoins, tricky. Like it's something like something you gotta find, and then you gotta put your trust on the people working behind it, and assuming that it's gonna prevail. And hopefully that it doesn't get labeled as a security, and then they don't get into lawsuits, and then blah blah blah. Let's go. But right now it's like I do think that that Bitcoin can go higher. I do think. All right. PPI is gonna drive markets today potentially too. I mean, like for example, like a good buy GBTC. It's a good buy. You buy GBTC right now, it's like buying Bitcoin at a 10 to 15% discount depending on the day and the value. You have Golem, GLM. I like Golem. Like my brother likes my brother is the altcoin guy, man. I'm like, it's like I'm like, look, Bitcoin, leave it. It's like a network that keeps value some places and some people are like value it and it's nice and that's it. That's it, dude. That's what you can do. Nice. You make good money. Probably know more than me. For altcoins, you likely know more. I'm not to the altcoin gaze. I mean, I've made money. Like I bought Bitcoin back when it was friggin' $15. So, you know. But then I sold it because of all the stuff that's going on. So you just keep your eye on the news and then you just try to make the best decision possible. Sometimes it's like when the price goes down, for example, like I almost sold at the 40,000 because I was like, whoa, what's happening? I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is Bitcoin. This is not the S&P 500. S&P 500 drops 10% in a day.
Will lead with US PPI year over year.
And then you freak out. It has happened, but all right. US PPI, let's go. We are close to all-time highs. We are close, close, close. Seems like a good spread. Seems like a good spread. But it's tricky because it's all related to the crypto market and Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin goes up way too high, and then it sort of like translates into other
Seconds.
Bitcoins and all that stuff. All right, what's the trade here, guys? What's the trade? That is the. Oh,
0.9%, 0.9%. That's lower than forecast. 1%.
that's
The
good.
T month over month. That's 0%, 0% as expected. Core PPI year over year. 2%,
That's really good news.
2%. Lower than forecast.
Market should
2.2%.
go up today.
Core PPI month over month. 0%, 0%. Lower than forecast. 0.2%.
Dollar heading
Looking to the market,
down.
some strength in the S&P 500 and some weakness in the dollar following this report.
Yeah, market's up, guys. Ah, whoop, whoop. Whipsawing right now. That's bad for oil. Ugh, my oil. Got in too early, feels like, but man, we're sitting such at juicy levels. S&P sort of bouncing off. We have, we broke for 100 in the Qs. Nice. Oh yeah,
US stocks extending their gains following the PPI data. We have posted out the US November CPI report on the feed for anybody interested.
Commodity prices are coming down, which is great news. Fantastic news for inflation. Now,
So noting some prior revisions here as well. PPI month over month, prior revised up to minus 0.4% from minus 0.5%. As for the year over year, the prior was revised down to 1.2%, from at 1.3%. So again, year over year PPI prior revised down to 1.2% from 1.3%.
it's coming in. It's coming in kind of nice. I can't complain. PPI data is looking good. That Firefox is. Yeah. Do I have a Telegram channel? Telegram. I have a Telegram place where I like talk crypto, but it's not mine. It's like a couple, like a close group of friends, close group of friends. It's mostly here, and then yeah, it's mostly here, and then we're working on the LinkedIn and other different things, different all the different aspects, you know. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, follow. Don't forget to blah blah blah, all that stuff. But yeah, of Twitter and all that stuff. But I don't really right now. It's like I'm still sort of working on the strategy and how to get the information. But it's tricky. Yeah, I know. Tricky to know what the best decision is at all times. You just have to sort of like pull, like, look, this is what I'm gonna tell you, which I've learned after years of trading. It doesn't matter what you think; it matters what you do. Okay? In this market, it doesn't matter what you think. So, oh, I thought the price was gonna come down. I should have sold. Fuck that shit. If you sold, good. If you didn't, bad. Simple, easy. If you think it, execute, and whatever you execute on is what you evaluate yourself in. You know, is what makes you money through brain power. But yeah, it's always Peter. They changed this. Trade trading. Nope, that ain't it either. What? Where did it go? What? I don't even remember. That ain't it. That ain't it. That'll be it. somewhere. That's so weird. Take it out. Line up. That's so weird. Yeah, can't find it. Try to find it later. That's so odd. Weird. Yeah, market if weird drop. I thought it should be there. Mortgage rates are coming in lower, which is it's so odd. But yeah, yeah, markets are up. Crypto's up. You see? You glad you didn't sell? Crypto's up a little bit. Oh no, it's down actually. It's down actually. Any more market news that are up today? Let's have. Yeah, we got FOMC. So yeah, if this is something like if you're looking to see what to do with the prices, this is going to be something because there's also as interest rates come down, people look for risk assets, and Bitcoin is a risk asset, so we could see Bitcoin higher in the end of next year. But then again, nice. Today's gonna be potentially a good day if it doesn't gap and crap. You're mostly in crypto. You don't do stocks, eh? Stocks takes a lot more. Bitcoin does this, but nope. 7:30, 7 o'clock. I'm not gonna be here. Nothing's gonna happen. 7:30, 7:30 when he starts speaking. Wanted to go to a poker tournament. I think it starts at 6. This is really good. This is the only good news that we get today here. Gasoline inventories has to come in lower. No, good. Not for everybody, but for How did you find me? Did you just find me on the YouTube feed or you found me on eToro? Quick question. No, it's coming down. Yeah, market's giving away. Oil is up. Treasuries. Treasuries. That's so nuts. The treasuries are paying just under on Fed funds rate, which is weird because it's like it should be paying the same unless they cut earlier. But we're talking about what? Now the question is, do we buy treasuries at this point? Five hours. No hike. Imagine we get a hike that would break market. Fifty-fifty months. That's so nuts. Insane, bro. Insane. We're gonna get cut. That's what the market is expecting. I think the market is our
So, according to a German economy ministry paper seen by the newswires, power price compensation and lower electricity tax packages are still planned for manufacturing companies.
crazy. Yeah, you're making money. You're making good. And the question is, are we gonna buy Peppercoin? That is the question. Yeah. Streameando, bonita. Estoy streameando. Para que sepa. ¿Qué pasó, muchacha? Vale. I think this is it for now. I'll probably stream. I'll stream later. A good one, everybody.